Successful sellers are perceived as consultative resources by their customers, as problem solvers working in the customer's best interests. In order to be seen as an effective problem solver, you must first be able to develop a clear understanding of the customer's problems. You can develop this understanding through the skillful use of problem questions. Problem questions are designed to identify customer problems, difficulties, or dissatisfaction which can be addressed by your product or service. Customer problems, difficulties, or dissatisfaction are the raw material for building explicit needs. They are the reasons why a customer might have the desire for change. Huthwaite research shows that problem questions are much more powerful than situation questions. Customers are invariably more interested in discussing their problems than in educating the seller on the bland basics of their business situation. There are two basic types of problem questions. The first type of problem question helps you uncover customer problems, difficulties, or dissatisfaction. Sometimes customers will freely reveal their problems without any prompting from you. At other times, you will have to ask questions designed to uncover problems and determine whether or not a specific problem might exist. One way to do this is to use a very simple, direct probing question. For example, what problems has that system created for you? Or, have you ever had a problem managing large files? Or, how happy are you with the way that system handles large files? Another way to uncover problems is to soften the questions somewhat by positioning them with information. For example, I've talked with quite a few people who have used that system, and many of them have said that they had difficulties with large files. Has that been a problem for you? Or, from what I've seen, many firms in your industry have had problems with large files. What is your experience in that regard? Or, I've dealt with a number of firms that were in the same situation as yours. Most of them said that processing large files was their biggest problem. Is that the case here? Asking simple, direct questions, or softer, positioned ones, is really a matter of opinion and style. There is no evidence to suggest that either approach yields better results. So use the approach that best suits the individual customer, the particular situation, and your own personal style. The second type of problem questions helps you understand customer problems, difficulties, or dissatisfaction. While it is important to determine whether the customer has a problem, this isn't enough. You must also have a good understanding of the problem. You gain this understanding by asking questions. The questions you ask to understand the problem include who, what, when, where, why, how much, how many, and how often. For example, who has to deal with the problem? What is causing it? When did it start? Where is it occurring? Why do you think it is happening? How much of your production is involved? How many locations are affected? How often does it happen? With a clear understanding of the customer's problem, you are better able to assess the scope of the problem, determine how to best position potential solutions, and determine what to do next in the selling process. By asking follow-up problem questions, you help the customer think through and clarify the problem. In many instances, you'll find that customers have not fully analyzed their problems. They might not have the time, information, or resources to do so. By helping customers to really understand their problems, you position yourself as a problem solver and consultative resource. Asking problem questions will also help you to develop the customer's desire for a solution and a sense of urgency to act on the problem. Sometimes the customer will reveal a problem which your product or service cannot solve. In this case, be judicious in your use of follow-up problem questions. Your focus should be on developing problems which can be addressed by your product or service. Almost all sellers have a good understanding of their products and services. However, the most successful sellers have something more, a very clear understanding of the customer's problems, difficulties, or dissatisfaction which can be addressed by each of their products and services. In other words, they have business, industry, and operational knowledge as well as product knowledge. This knowledge is critical to selling success. The better you understand the problems you can address from a customer's point of view, the better you will be able to uncover and understand specific problems and develop explicit needs. The most successful sellers do a great deal of planning before a call. They anticipate potential customer problems and formulate problem questions they might ask during the call. In other words, they put their business, operational, and product knowledge to good use before the call. While the less successful sellers may be inclined to wing it, the most successful sellers understand the value of solid, thorough preparation. Anticipating customer problems takes time and careful thought, because specific problems can vary greatly from customer to customer. Most problems tend to fall into one of the following categories: profitability, cost, productivity, competition, quality, time, ease of operation, reliability, capability, credibility, versatility, safety, morale, customer satisfaction, and reputation or image. These categories can be a useful frame of reference for organizing the problems that can be addressed by your product or service. When anticipating problems, the most successful sellers recognize that a customer's perception of problems can vary depending on the level or function of the person being contacted. For example, top executives might tend to be more interested in problems related to profitability, productivity, or competition. The actual users of your product or service might have a greater interest in problems related to ease of operation, versatility, safety, or reliability. Customers in the finance function tend to focus more on problems related to cost, profitability, etc. Unlike their less successful counterparts, the most successful sellers focus on anticipating problems that are likely to be hot buttons for the level or function they are contacting.